Say there are four red balls and three green balls. If two balls are picked at random, what is the probability of picking at least one red ball? So, one way to look at this question is there are only two types of outcomes possible, right? So, at least one of the balls picked is a red ball, or none of the balls picked is a red ball, right? Only these two outcomes are possible. Either an outcome contains a red ball or it does not contain a red ball, right? So the sum of the probability of all the events is always equal to 1, right? In this case, since there are only two events possible, two types of events possible, right? The probability of at least one red ball plus probability of no red ball is equal to 1. So this is how we can actually calculate the probability of at least one red ball, right? By finding the probability of no red ball, right? So this is what we'll do next. So probability of no red ball, it basically means that both the balls picked are green, right? So probability of both green balls picked is 1 by 7. How do you get this? So the total number of outcomes is 7C2. And since you want both the green balls picked, right? So the number of desired outcomes is 3C2. So this turns out to be 1 by 7. So the probability of at least one red ball is 1 minus the probability of no red ball, so which is 1 by 7. So your answer is 6 by 7. Now, of course, there is another way to calculate this by considering all the scenarios of red balls, right? So one scenario would be where you get exactly one red ball out of the two balls picked. And the second scenario is where both the red balls picked are red, right? So you can calculate the probability of this and add them up and you will get the same answer. Take another question. Say 5 coins are tossed. What is the probability of getting at least one head? So again, uh, we can look at it as that there are two types of outcomes possible, right? One which contains at least one head, right? So at least one of the 5 coins is a head, right? That was one type of an outcome. The other type of outcome is where none of the 5 coins is a head, right? Turns out to be a head. So that's the other type of outcome. So either an outcome contains at least one head or an outcome contains no head. So since there are only these two types of outcomes possible, the sum of the probabilities of these two types of outcomes is equal to 1. So the probability of at least one head is equal to the probability of is equal to 1 minus probability of no head. So what is the probability of no head? It's basically a probability that it's all tails, right? No head means all tails. Now, if 5 coins are tossed, the total number of outcomes is 2 to the power of 5. And how many outcomes contain all 5 tails? Only one, right? So this is 1 over 2 to the power of 5. So the probability of at least one head would be 1 minus 1 over 2 to the power of 5. So this is 31 divided by 32. And you could solve it the other way around, where you calculate the probability of getting exactly one head plus probability of getting exactly two heads plus three heads, four heads, and five heads. And you will end up getting the same answer.